So just going back to where we started, we covered the murder of George Floyd when this was unfolding. If you remember, there were 4 cops who were there. Okay, so I don't know how you pronounce the scumbag's name, the guy who murdered George Floyd. His name is Chauvin, I guess, more like chauvinist pig. He's finally been arrested and charged. Now, charged adequately? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So let me just read you. All right, let's just catch up, because remember at the time, what has it been, 3-4 days now since George Floyd passed, and they didn't arrest any of these cops immediately. They fired them the next day, all 4 of them, but none of them were arrested. Okay, so now finally, the guy who killed George Floyd, Chauvin, he's been arrested. Let me show you this. Okay, let me just read you very briefly. You see that? Chauvin in custody, charged with murder in George Floyd's death. So, fired Minneapolis police officer. Let me zoom in on that for you so you can see what's going on. Sorry about this window. I don't know how to get rid of it, but it says here, fired Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has been arrested 4 days. Remember, 4 days after George Floyd's fatal arrest that sparked protests, rioting, and outcry across the city and nation. And he has been charged with 3rd-degree murder and manslaughter. Okay? That's what they're charging him with officially. Now, look what I want to say, man. The fact that this took 4 days is an abomination. What do you mean 4 days? Like, who's the fucking captain at this precinct who saw this video? And they saw that fucking video. I mean, everybody on this planet saw that video. Who is in charge of that precinct, the 3rd precinct, who saw that video and was like, oh yeah, this is cool. And then the DA who saw the video was like, oh yeah, you remember that? They were saying that, oh, we don't have enough evidence, that there's possible evidence that exonerates Chauvin. What fucking evidence, motherfucker? Did you see the video or not? Are you blind? What is wrong with you? So I just want to show you one thing. In the meantime, when they were not arresting him, look at this. I want to show you something that is going to give you goosebumps, because it is fucking scary. Okay? And I still have goosebumps seeing this. So this was filmed outside his house. Okay? This is outside Chauvin's house, the guy who murdered George Floyd. Right? Take a look at this.
Look how many fucking people are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look how fucking many. They're defending a murderer's house. They are defending a murderer's house.
Did you see that? That's some 1984 shit. You know that music video by System of a Down? What is it? BYOB? How they're marching like that at the beginning? The militarized police. Just like this. I mean, that is something else. I've never seen nothing like that. You think they're guarding the president or something? Wow. I mean, what is that? How many officers? Taxpayer money is going to that to protect a murderer? Man, if he needs that much protection, you don't think maybe he did something wrong? No? That didn't occur to these people's minds? That is terrifying. I've never seen that, especially at night with the flashlight reflecting off of their masks. That is really terrifying. Look at that. That is something else. That's something dystopian. I mean, this is not a joke. That is fucking insane. Who are they protecting? Who is this Chauvin? But a murderer. Who is he? Christ. So here's more protesting outside of his house.
Who's in charge of your group?
Unbelievable. So they finally arrested him, as I said, and they charged him with third-degree murder and manslaughter, right? And I mean, I think this is pathetic. That this is, again, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think you need to be a lawyer or a rocket scientist to see that that this is beyond just, third-degree murder and manslaughter. Also, did you know his wife is divorcing him now? Yes, I saw that too. Wife of charged ex-Minneapolis Police Department officer Derek Chauvin files for divorce. Well, I'm not exactly going to cry for him, am I? Now, if you look at the charges here, okay, so they've released the files, and you can see here, murder in the third degree. Derek Michael Chauvin caused the death of George Floyd by perpetrating an act eminently dangerous to others and evincing a depraved mind without regard for human life. Yes, well, usually white supremacists don't have much regard for human life, do they? So, and here also manslaughter, culpable negligence. What a fucking understatement, negligence. It's a bit more than that. It's a bit more than that, isn't it? So as you can see here, all of this over a $20 bill. A $20 bill. That's what George Floyd was murdered for. A $20 bill. And correct me if I'm wrong, it turned out not to be a counterfeit. Right? So what I had posted on Twitter was a jab at Candace Owens. I was under the impression that it was a check, right? Because people had mentioned forgery, and I assumed it was a check. Turns out they were referring to a $20 bill. Rick, I don't care. This is irrelevant. I really don't care. There is no fucking reason whatsoever that you should have your knee on someone's neck. All right? This is a man who's been handcuffed. He's already on the ground. You have 3 others behind you supporting you. You have no reason on earth to have your neck anywhere, your knee anywhere near his neck. This is murder, all right? And as I posted on Twitter, this is something the IDF teaches them. Okay, so in case some of you didn't know, U.S. police departments, many of them get their training from the Zionist occupation. Yes, it's not a joke. Let me show you. Posted this on my Twitter. I'll pull it up. So this move specifically of putting your knee on someone's neck, which is essentially a kill move. I mean, when you've already detained someone, this is useless. Why would you restrict their airflow when you've already detained them and they pose absolutely no danger to you? I mean, the only circumstance I could ever imagine you would do that to someone is if they had a bomb in their hand or a gun or something, right? That an imminent danger, as they say, imminent. What danger did George Floyd pose? The dude is already handcuffed and on the ground. Fuck off out of here, man. Come on. This is ridiculous. And even with these whole, this nonsense that the right-wingers say, resisting arrest. I don't care if he's resisting arrest. You don't do that. Technically speaking, you haven't even charged the guy with the crime. You haven't even booked him. You haven't even brought him down to the police station. What are you doing that to him for? Fuck off out of here, man. I'm not negotiating. I'm not debating this. So As you can see here, this is something the Zionist occupation regularly practices on civilians, on Palestinians. Yeah. This is normal. And that's what they teach them. That's what they teach them, right? You have oppressors teaching other oppressors how to murder, how to, terrorize blacks, people of color. Of course. No wonder. Who was surprised by this? So that's essentially what's happened. And if you look at the charges again, I just want to point something out, which is very important. The defendant, so this scumbag Chauvin, had his knee on Mr. Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in total. Okay, let me zoom in on that in case you can't see that. For 8 minutes and 46 seconds total. 2 minutes and 53 seconds of this was after Mr. Floyd was non-responsive. You don't think there's something psychotic about this guy? I mean, let's be clear here, okay? We're not talking about depression and anxiety and mental illness, which a lot of people struggle with. That's something, that's okay. That's okay to have. There's no shame in that. Remember, we're trying to destigmatize that. I'm talking about someone who has no regard for human life, especially when it comes to blacks and minorities, right? Only someone who has zero empathy, who's malicious, who's evil in his intent, could do that to another human being. How can you do that to someone else? This is like some lion with a zebra in their jaw, right? A zebra's neck in their jaw, just not letting go. It's I don't even know what to say, man. And by the way, another thing which I found a bit odd, I don't know, maybe someone can provide some insight on this, but if you look at this, they suggest that, so these are preliminary findings. Remember, this is not the final autopsy. Okay, these are preliminary findings. They're saying that Mr. Floyd had underlying health conditions, including coronary artery disease and hypertensive heart disease. The combined effects of Mr. Floyd being restrained by the police, his underlying health conditions, and any potential intoxicants in his system likely contributed to his death. No, I don't think it was a combination of his underlying health conditions. He was choked out. The motherfucker, Chauvin, choked him out on video. It's that simple. Anyone who is, has someone's knee pressed down on their neck for 8 minutes is going to die. I don't understand why they even bring this up. And even if you want to play devil's advocate, maybe law enforcement shouldn't fucking choke people out. In case they have underlying health conditions, yes. That way they don't fucking die. No? Did you think of that, maybe? That you shouldn't do this? Especially since the guy is non-violent. He's already been handcuffed. He's lying on the fucking ground. You have 3 other police officers with you. No? That didn't occur to you? His underlying health conditions are fucking irrelevant when you kill him. You killed him. You murdered him. So it was a lynching. My goodness. I can't believe, we haven't even finished talking about Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, and now we're dealing with George Floyd. I mean, how many names are you going to add to this list? When does it end? When do you actually start, dismantling this system of oppression, this white supremacy, this disregard for the lives of blacks? When? Is there a limit? How many people have to die? When do you finish? Tell me. You don't think one is enough? You don't think one person is too much? It shouldn't have to get to this point. You don't think that? What is wrong with these people?